Um, like I said, hey, it's basketball season, y'all. Y'all know what we on. NBA playoff picture. Everything got wrapped up today. Everything set in stone. If you will, all my brothers and sisters, if we could turn to the NBA standings, you know what I'm saying? If we could take a look at what we have in the play-in for both conferences. We got Orlando as the 7 seed, Atlanta as the 8, Chicago as the 9, Miami as the 10. In the Western Conference, we have Golden State at 7, Memphis at 8, Sacramento at 9, and Dallas at 10. For that, I'm more so interested in the Western Conference when it comes out to the play-in and the playoff picture in general. But Golden State versus Memphis. I mean, just even today, right? Even today, as we're recording, this is Sunday. Golden State losing that game. I get that. What are your thoughts on Golden State in general as far as their chances to compete for a title?
I don't think that chances are high, but it's not slim. I think Jimmy Butler has added an extra grit for them, even though Jimmy is up there in age. He's 34, I think. But Jimmy just gave them an extra oomph, and I feel like a new confidence came for Golden State. I think they can make a deep run in the first round, maybe make the second round, and it's probably it. I don't think Jimmy is enough for them to make a run in the playoffs this year. I just don't think so. I don't think Steph is also obviously getting older. Steph is still gonna be Steph, but I feel like the supporting cast is just it's just a big question mark for me. Draymond is not the same Draymond that he used to be. Kaminga is we don't know what's going on with Kaminga at this point. Jimmy can only do so much. Like he doesn't have to do much he did in Miami, but there's only so much he can do. Um, I would say second round at best, at least for me, for them.
So you got them beating Memphis in the playing game. I'm
They
assuming.
can beat Memphis. I don't. I think Memphis is they kind of like entered this year too, and Ja can only do so much. Ja can only
I
do
would,
so
lo-
much. So
I would love to see my South Carolina boy
I
knock
would
out one of
too.
my.
I would too. But like honestly, bro, what we've been seeing with them antics, man, I don't even know. Yeah. So
We're gonna get to that. I actually got that listed too. We're gonna get to that as well.
okay.
But so just in general, so I'm assuming we assume that Memphis is gonna get the 8 seed. I'm guessing we all assume that as well. Um, so with the Western Conference Finals, with assuming that Golden State and Memphis come out of the play in and get the 7 to 8 spots. Um, what first round matches? Do you see any upsets with the first round matchups in the Western Conference?
Hmm. In the West, that's tough. Honestly, I do not. I don't.
Really?
I don't like. I mean, because if you look at the seeding, if you look at the seeds right now, Kings. Let's say Kings or Mavericks is out of the eight. Is going to play the Thunder out of them two. Well, no.
Well, so
Uh,
like, like 7 to 8 will play first, and obviously the loser of the 7 to 8 game will then play the winner of the 9-10 game to
okay, so
then
whoever,
determine the
yeah,
AC.
so whoever wins out of Golden State will play the Rockets. I can see if you want to call it an upset. I think the Grizzlies. I mean, I think the Warriors go play the Rockets. I think they can beat the Rockets. I think they're
I
more
think so
experienced
too.
to beat the Rockets. So if you want to call that an upset, okay, cool. I think. hmm, I think as of late, the Kings have been playing better basketball than the Mavs. So I think the Mavs would play the Thunder, but they not beating the Thunder.
I,
Um,
got- you know, I, I got Memphis. I got Memphis getting the 8 spot. I still got
what?
Memphis at the 8. Memphis getting the
What?
8 because you got to think about it. Do I think John's good enough to get you in? He's good. He alone is good enough to get you in the playoffs. What you'll do once you have to play OKC, nothing's happening with OKC. OKC's moving on to the next round.
But it's just like for
But
me though, it's just like, and I don't want me to cut you off on that one. It's just like
yeah.
Golden State has been in the play in for a couple of years. They've experienced that. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's like obviously it's gonna be a frustrating thing for Steph because Steph don't want to be in the play in, but he's gonna play
No.
to keep the playoffs, man. So that's what I'm saying from an experience. Yeah, Ja can be enough, but from an experience standpoint, I just don't see them boys just lock
But
in the seed.
but you gotta see what I'm saying though. So you gotta so understand the winner of the 7-8 gets the 7 spot, but the loser of that 7-8 game still plays for the AC. So they'll
Mm,
get the winner out of Sacramento, Dallas. I don't think can Sacramento beat Memphis? Yes. Dallas, absolutely not. No, have no shot. So I still got Memphis getting the AC and having to play OKC, which they'll get. In which I'm not gonna lie, it'll be a decent series. I think it'll be a better series than what people will think. Now, when I say better, I mean that it won't be a sweep. I think it'll go 5, but I
okay.
think these games will be highly competitive.
Hmm.
That's what I think.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Then when we go 2-7, give me Golden State to beat Houston. There's not a big gap between those two teams right now. Houston's still young. They're not ready for this stage. If Jalen Green was more consistent, I would take Houston. But Jalen Green to me is too wide. It's too much of a wild card. He's
Mm-hmm.
all over the place. I can't figure out what I'm gonna get from him on a night in night out basis. So I can't trust Houston right now at this current stage. Lakers versus Minnesota. Give me my Lakers. I'm trusting us. I wanted Minnesota because I Minnesota with Julius Randle. I do not fear them at all. Not at all. I, Ant gonna be Ant. I know what Ant about to do. But you know how to between you know how to attack Ant and how to get him out of his game. He's still gonna do what he does, but you know what I'm saying. They're not deep enough. If this was Karl Anthony Towns on this Memphis on this Minnesota team, I had some worries. But with no
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns,
Yeah.
I don't have much of a fear at all. Denver
Yeah.
versus the Clippers though. This is where it gets real dicey
I think it
because
gets nice. Go ahead. My bad. You got it.
I was gonna say, I mean, are you trusting Nikola Jokic? Are you trusing what he's been as a player? Or are
I
you
don't. I
trusting
don't.
what I'm saying out of the Clippers
I don't think
with
it's
James Harden
more.
and Kawhi Leonard? They've been playing well here as of late.
I think that I think for the Nuggets, there's so many things to be concerned about. One, like you said, James Harden and Kawhi have been playing good, and let's not forget about Norman Powell, bro. Let's not forget about Norman, bro. Norman about that putting in buckets. I think he went from like what 8 to like 18 or something like that in the span of a year in terms of points per game. So that's the third option. That's the X factor you got to worry about. I think the biggest elephant in the room for the Nuggets, your coach is gone. Your coach just got fired 3 days ago. So it's like,
Yeah.
all right, like, and I think a lot of people, I think that's going to be a distraction in itself because now the media is going to be lingering over that now. It's like, okay, did you guys, like, what has caused this to happen? And distractions happen in basketball. Distractions happen in all sports. So that's going to be a major distraction for the Nuggets moving forward into the playoffs. Do I think they have enough to beat the Nuggets? Beat the Clippers? Yes, I think they do. They have literally the best player on the court right now. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Who spreads the floor? I think it's more of a headspace. What is the headspace of the Denver Nuggets right now? You're a fourth seed. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're way much better than the fourth seed. It's just a lot of whatever is going on. A lot of people blaming Russ. A lot of people blaming Malone. A lot of people saying like MPJ should have been traded. All this type of stuff. There's so many distractions that's going to carry in from now until wherever they go in the playoffs. So I think it's just a matter of knowing that your opponent is turning on at the right time, and the fact that there's a major elephant in the room under your franchise right now.
Yeah, that's the fact. You're not wrong. I mean, the Clippers to me are the most dangerous team in this playoffs. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're the most. I think as a team that started humming toward the end of the season, really started to pick it up once Kawhi got back. Kawhi and elevates that team, of course. But shout out to James Harden for keeping that team afloat while Kawhi was gone.
Yeah,
James Harden, I watched that game today. I'm like, man, James Harden is still really damn good at basketball. Kawhi Leonard is still really damn good at basketball, and it made me sad watching it because I'm like, dog, it's almost over. That era of those guys are almost done. Like it's on. We're getting towards the end. I'm like, dog, I ain't gonna take it for granted what we got to witness out of those guys, and I
yeah.
also don't want to take for granted what we're about to see in these playoffs. I
Mm-hmm.
think James and Kawhi are going to go on a tear, and they are going to make it. It is going to be a very tough out for anybody to have to get them out in a 7 game
Oh,
series. Like if Kawhi's healthy. Like I hope Kawhi is healthy because I think the game of basketball is better when Kawhi Leonard is on the court. Man,
Well,
I got a lot
the
of faith in them
whole
boys. I really do.
matchup standpoint is because they're gonna switch on defense. They're gonna put Kawhi on Murray. James Harden's gonna do his thing. James Harden's probably gonna be on Norman Powell, whatever. But I think the key thing
Well,
is
not Norman Powell, but him and Norman Powell on the same team.
yeah, sorry, my bad. But dang, I'm messed up. So it's like, but also it goes on like depth too. Like Russ can lead. Russ definitely gonna lead that second unit. But it's just like you put Kawhi on Murray. Now that leaves Jokic. That takes an asset. I feel like what people have to understand is when you take away assets from Jokic's game, when you take away shooters, and his main guy is Murray. And now you got to rely on your other aspects. Who a lot of people we really don't know who they are on the team. Maybe MPJ, you know what I'm saying, but he don't get 10 assists by himself. So it's like,
Right.
so your main guy you getting most of your assists from is Murray because he's cutting, he's getting to the basket, doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? So everybody know Jokic is gonna get his 60 or 50 or 40 or whatever the case. I'm sorry, bro. 61, 10, and 10. That's crazy. That's crazy.
He's ridiculous,
He's
dog.
ridiculous.
He
But I mean, like when you that's one thing that people always say. Once you take away one aspect, and usually that's either if you can take away him scoring or passing the ball, you have a pretty good chance. You have a pretty good chance against him.
and
So
this Denver team also just not meaning to cut you off, but when you don't have guys like Bruce Brown anymore, and when you don't have guys like KCP that are snipers from three, it changes the entire
it
aspect of
changes a
everything.
lot. It changes a lot. And the thing about the Clippers that I also realized they're really good on ball defenders too. So a lot of that cutting ain't gonna happen. And that's where a
Yeah.
lot of like Jokic's like assists come from guys who are able to cut backdoor cuts to the basket. So a lot of people are going to be studying his passes off the ball or away from the ball, just like no look passes, because that's where his bread and butter comes from. This man can see the floor before anybody else can see it. He knows if you're right there on the perimeter, all right, he's gonna make a cut. I'm here. Let me make sure I'm position. Boom, that's another assist. But the thing about the Clippers, they're really good on by the finish. They can deny the ball, and then and it's just the effect of Kawhi Leonard too. So it really depends on who Kawhi has and who Kawhi is guarding. He can play the passing lanes really well with his big long arm. So, it's definitely gonna be interesting, dude. I think again the Clippers turned it on at the right time. Say James Harden, we've seen him play as old. I wouldn't say Houston James Harden. I would say at least like uh
Brooklyn Nets at the very least.
Brooklyn Nets James Harden. Yeah, I would say Brooklyn Nets. I would say Kawhi is playing more like Toronto Kawhi right now, man. He hooping. So you never know. You might have to run him. So you got that ring
Right.
in Toronto. So
Hey, look, they're a tough out, man. They are a tough out. I would say that's probably the scariest group to go up against because I mean they got veteran leadership, they
hmm
got the experience,
hmm
and they still are very much talented. These are guys that are still very much playing some of their best basketball. Are they at their apex? Nah, but these are still some of the best players in the game when they're on. Moving along to the Eastern Conference, they're playing like you said, like we said before, it includes Orlando at 7, Atlanta at 8, Chicago at 9, Miami at 10. Um, I'll be honest, I don't see any surprises coming out of that play-in. I think you're gonna get Orlando and Atlanta as the 7 to 8 seeds. I don't
hmm
know what your thoughts are, but I don't see any surprises coming out of the Eastern Conference play-in.
No, I really don't. I don't think I see. I don't see. I think the only and based off a record base, I feel like the only upset we'll probably see is Cleveland possibly could beat Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's probably the only major upset we can see in that whole conference. Is them
I'm gonna be
possible.
honest. Like, so here's the thing:
Oh yeah.
we all kind of have our idea.
Oh
The
yeah.
Eastern Conference is very simple. And I think you and I both know what our real answer is.
Oh yeah. We know.
Yeah,
We know.
we
We know. But what I'm saying is, I've been watching those two play. I've been watching. Here's the matches I've been watching all year. I mean, obviously been
Mhm.
watching Lakers. I just been watching Lakers trying to get together. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
ain't gonna disrespect your team, man. Shout out the boy. Luke over there. You know what I'm saying? Doing his thing. Throw a dizzle. You know what I'm saying? I have been watching the Thunder, obviously. I'm a Shea fan, but I've really been watching the Thunder and see how they actually compete with a lot of these teams moving forward. The Knicks, a lot of people have been questioning the Knicks as well. Just like, okay, they started off hot. The season goes on, they start to like come down a little bit. Like, so what is it about the Knicks? And obviously, I've been watching a lot of Boston and Cleveland. From a regular season standpoint, Cleveland has been the better team. Obviously, they had the number one seed. They got consistent shooters. They got depth. They went out and got DeAndre Hunter, who was like an 18-point guy in Atlanta, goes over there, gives them some type of scoring. Ty Jerome, who could be a most improved player of the year or a six-man player of the year. He's been playing well. So Cleveland looks good on paper.
Mm-hmm.
However, Boston looks experienced on paper. So that's why I
Yes.
feel like a lot of people are saying, like, okay, yeah, Cleveland looks good now. They're a regular season team, but Boston still has experience, can go to the NBA Finals.
Yep.
There are like
I agree.
there are a lot of matches, and then if I'm not speaking this now, hypothetically, if this could be a finals matchup, if this could be the Thunder and Boston, that could be something interesting as well. Not trying to jump into a conclusion now, but what I'm saying that this is just what I've been watching.
Yeah.
These regular season battles have been really good.
Yeah.
Potential what else? Potential because we haven't seen a Western Conference like finals matchup yet. Maybe Denver and the Thunder, maybe, but I don't see anyone being a threat to the Thunder other than you gonna like it, the Lakers. That's the only team that I see as a threat. After going to get Luka, yes, I see them as a threat in the Western Conference right now. Only because we've seen playoff Bron.
Yep.
And now we get Luka on a super talented team, not a super talented team, but a more talented team than he was.
Yeah.
And he can turn
Absolutely more talented.
the man
Yeah.
had 40 in a tribute game. And I
Dog.
get it was against Dallas, but that was a smooth 40. That was like a revenge 40. That was a Nico
Luka. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I think the turn Luka's about to take. Oh man, I think he gets it. Hey, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. He gonna get he'll get a ring in the purple and gold, whether it's this year or whether it's next. He gets the ring in the purple and gold. Y'all, you just say, look, I'm gonna just go ahead and claim that he seems like a guy that's on a mission and having that boost of, oh, y'all really don't believe in me. Y'all really don't think I can get it done. That's a
Hey,
big. See,
shout out to Ace though, but you still ain't got the better team. T's got you. T's got you by a landslide. I'm sorry. Until Wimby gets the help that he needs, he ain't got that boy in the purple and gold.
bro, hey, look.
Listen.
So, hey, look, you know what? I'm gonna speak on on the Spurs here in a little bit too, but just to get I'm gonna just to wrap just so we can wrap up the Eastern Conference because we got we gotta try to be equal here and talk about everybody.
We ain't talking about the Hornets. Shout out Cooper Flag. He
New,
might play.
yeah, you look not fast. New York gets put out by Detroit first round.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana I think Indiana gets Milwaukee out of here in the first round with no Lillard. I think they should him out of the building. I'm be honest though. I really enjoy watching Indiana play. I
Wait a
really
minute.
do.
Wait. Before you go into that, what do you Indiana, Milwaukee? Where do you see that series going? 5, 6?
6. I gotta go on 6.
Okay.
I give it. Also respect. I respect Giannis too much to say I'll go 5.
Okay.
6. If they can condense this game down, you want obviously you want to muddy the game up. You want to slow it down. And the playoffs always go. It's always slower in the playoffs. Scoring comes down. We start to figure out who certain guys are. We're gonna figure out whether that don't what you was popping in the regular season. If you can still pop it now, you one of them ones. But for a lot of y'all boys, you come back down to earth. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we start to figure out who the real ones are. Indiana, I think just got to it, bro. They can shoot the three so proficiently, dog. They're gonna run you out the building.
They faster. And they faster. They
Yes.
play transition basketball. So
Oh, I love watching them play. They play basketball. They play basketball the way that Golden State used to play.
Minus the
They
shoot.
play that. They play it that way. They don't shoot. Obviously, they don't have the shooters. Like they don't have Steph. They don't have Clay. But they got a bunch of guys that can light it up though. They got a bunch of them, and they'll shoot you out the game. You'll get shot out the game quick. They are capable of big scoring runs at the drop of a hat, and I just enjoy watching them. Like even last year, you look at the Eastern Conference playoffs. last year. You just look at like that Boston Indiana series. While it didn't go the distance, it was the most entertaining that you saw. It's the most entertaining basketball you saw Boston play because they pushed Boston to the brink. And if not for some late game mistakes, couple games go a different way. That series may go 6-7. You know what I'm saying? So I just have enjoyed watching Indiana play this year. Boston obviously they spanking whoever they spanking Orlando, and Cleveland will spank Atlanta. So no surprises here in the first round.